speak into the lives of those that might be listening that
Yeah.
tomorrow want to start something. They have in mind, they might have an idea in mind or whatever, but what's kind of the fundamental process that you would say if you were starting tomorrow from scratch? What what 2 or 3 steps that you would do? And I'm just curious, what type of business would it be?
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to say right now, we're assuming we don't have a business. It's going to be the hypothesis we're working off of here. So we don't have a business, but we want time freedom. Now, let's assume that's our goal. We want to be able to have all the time in the world to do whatever we want to do. All right.
Okay.
So we have to find a problem that we can solve. And if you're like, everyone except for 16 million Americans, you don't know what it is. So there's 330 million Americans. Only 16 know what problem they're even going to solve. So you go, I don't know what problem I can solve. Okay. So what can I do? I can follow a system. Okay, cool. So I would recommend, it might be self-serving, so I want to get that out there. But you might say, I'm going to go to oxyfresh.com and I'm going to fill out the form and see if buying an OxyFresh franchise makes sense for me. Because I can, for under 50 grand, buy a business that ranks top in the world in Google for the phrase carpet cleaning quotes. I can show up, clean carpets. I can buy a vehicle for my family. I can buy a business vehicle for under 50 grand that has the capacity to create the money I want to make, and I can teach it to other people. It's scalable. There's a call center that books your appointments for you. They're top in Google. It's very turnkey. So you fill out that form, and you might book a discovery day. You fly out. It's federally regulated franchising. So you fly out to Denver, and you might say, and again, I make money if you buy one. I make $5 grand if you buy one, okay? So if you don't buy one, it's fine. But then you fill out a Jimmy John's. You're like, I get it. I'm hungry. I've eaten food. That's cool. So you fill out that. You go, I'm looking at Jimmy John's, and I'm looking at an OxyFresh. And then I'm going to look at, and I would just look at different franchises that are out there. And if you don't know what to do, if you don't have a skill that is scalable, I would do franchising. Just find a franchise, because you can buy a business for a lot of times for less money than it takes to buy a new car. And after SBA payments, I mean, for $2 grand a month, you got a business, and it works. It's been proven to work, and you can't be a franchise anymore due to the federal regulations from the Federal Trade Commission. You can't be a franchise anymore without disclosing all the facts. So you're going to know everybody who's bought one and failed. You're going to have all the disclosures, all the gross revenue per locations. I mean, it's there. Now, if you have a skill, let's say you're a piano teacher, or you're good at mowing lawns, or you're, you can make a product that people like, cakes or shoes or something. Well, then go try to sell 10 of them. Let's not try to sell 1 million. And when I looked at the results I was doing, there's 2 billion people that all wear shoes. And then if I only sell to 1% of the 2 billion and everyone has 2 shoes, that's 4 billion pairs of shoes that I could make $1 million. I mean, just stop it.
Sounds like you're talking to Shark Tank there.
Yeah, let's just find a problem you can solve, okay? Then we try to sell 10. Once you can sell 10, now let's try to sell 100. So now we got to get into the branding conversation. Let's make a beautiful website. And just that. Beautiful site and beautiful packaging. So whatever people see looks great. It looks better than you. In fact, branding is just perception, to quote Elon Musk. Branding is just perception. Sometimes it'll be ahead, sometimes it'll be behind, but it's just simply a perception people have. So look big. Look like you're the biggest company in the world with the best website ever before you sell 100 somethings. And then try to sell 100. And then after that, try to sell 1,000. And you just keep doing that. And then if you can afford it, again, it sounds self-serving, but I'm not always available. I'm usually not. Hire a coach. But don't hire a coach who doesn't know what they're doing. Find someone who has a proven track record, that has verifiable testimonials, that you could verify they're not a charlatan. Find a real person, and avoid contracts when necessary, unless they're like a huge track record, someone you can trust. And then if that doesn't work, we have a workshop that we do in Tulsa. And again, for any of your listeners, if they will just leave a review about your show today, the Rising Tide Startups, those leave a review about the Rising Tide Startups podcast, we normally charge $250 per ticket to attend. If they'll leave a review about your show and send us a screenshot proof of it to info@thrivetimeshow.com, they can attend our workshop for just $37.
Wow.
And I was on the Profit First podcast talking about this, and we had a listener who said, I'm going to do it. So he leaves a review, screenshots it, sends it to me with great fear of upsell and, get rich quick and jackassery, that kind of thing. I get it. And he finds out we're in his own city. That man was called Tip Top Canine. He went from 1 location to now 9 locations in the past 3 years. I was on the EO Fire podcast, John Lee Dumas, as we were talking about pre-show,
Yeah.
and somebody took advantage of this, and they ended up, it was Delricht Research. If you look it up, DELRICHT Research, and we took them from a startup, we'll call it pre-profit, not profit, to $100,000 a month of profit last time we talked. And that was in an 18-month window.
Wow.
So find somebody who knows the way. And I've paid mentors throughout my career. I mean, I paid Michael Levine $25,000. This is the guy who's the PR. I got to whisper. $25,000. He's the PR consultant for, if you look at Michael Levine and Google search of Michael Levine and the word public relations, he's the PR consultant for President Bush, Nike, Prince. It was Michael Jackson during his prime, Nancy Kerrigan.
He says Clay Clark now.
Yeah, well, I mean,
list.
Yeah, and I hired him, and whoa, man, I learned a lot about media. I mean, just this week, I got one of my clients on the Kelly Clarkson show. If you look up in Google, Tulsa man buys 8 billboards to proclaim love for wife. If you Google search that, you'll find it. We got him in Good Morning America, Kelly Clarkson, all from stuff I learned. So find someone who's done it. I mean, it was a lot of money, but he's the best.
And what a great roadmap. I mean, I really like the idea of, if you don't have an idea, you look at franchising. I mean, it's kind of a turnkey business in a box.
It's free to learn too.
Yeah.
I mean, the disclosures required from the federal government are so transparent and so invasive for a franchise owner. They can't just sell you air. So it's so great. I mean, think about that. They have to disclose all of their locations, the gross revenue, the cell phone numbers now of the people that own them. I mean, that totally takes out any shamockery there. I mean, that is power. And you can learn a lot. Even if you don't buy one, you can learn so much about business just by going to the discovery day.